This is actually an interesting segue into something else I've come across recently. That you guys performed at Sun Studio in Memphis, Tennessee recently. Yes, I saw the video of that. That's incredible. Um, and it's funny we're talking about musical legacies because and here's history because Sun Studio is home to famous recordings by Carl Perkins, Jerry Lee Lewis, Johnny
Yeah.
Cash, Elvis. Was there first of all, how did that feel to be in such a like historical place? And was there any intimidation from almost like this ghost of musical past, if you will, and performing in there?
Huh.
Well, aside from the 8-foot picture of Elvis that's on the wall that's staring at you the whole time, I actually felt it was quite, it was very revealing because, you know, you go in and it's really not, it's a very humble studio. It has really rich in its history, but things are kind of falling apart there, and the mics that they use aren't they're not top of the line stuff, and like there's duct tape on the mic stands and things like that. And I mean, that's all part of the vibe of that place, and I think what makes it what it is. But I think in some ways that made it almost more comfortable, just realizing that, you know, such great music was made under such sort of humble circumstances without it having to be so sterile and so, you know, $3,000 an hour kind of studio with, you know, the top of the line everything, where you sometimes get so intimidated by that stuff that you can't get inspired. It's very hard to deliver a performance in a space like that, you know. So I thought that was it was very inviting to play.
Yeah, I kind of got the same feeling. Like Alex said, you walk in and, you know, there's particle board on the wall, and, you know, all the mics are pretty, yeah, kind of normal, like, you know, average quality, and like the piano is kind of twangy and a little bit out of tune and all that.
And there's a cigar burn in one of the piano
Yeah.
keys from Jerry Lee Lewis's cigar.
And yeah, and I got the same feeling because, in a way, if we were intimidated by anything, it was the idea that musicianship used to be so incredible that they would make records so fast in environments like this one. Like, the way that they made albums back then was that they would get a bunch of musicians, they would all be in this one room, they would go, all right, we're rolling, they would play the song all together, and then that would be it. And that is what made these classic albums. And now we have the option of like nitpicking every tiny thing and recording it 30 times and then editing it together, and you sort of forget that it's possible to make albums that sound amazing if you just play. And so that's sort of what it took me back to when we were there. It's like, oh, well, we're all going to be in a room and we're all going to play and we're going to make a recording, and we're not used to that, but that's a good thing to remember.
Did you ever consider, with that in mind, would you ever consider recording an album there as well?
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely love to make an album like that someday, but I think I would have to practice a lot more. Because it's actually really hard to get to that level of musicianship where you can really deliver it in one take like that. And be listening to all the musicians at the same time.
Fair enough. Last few years, you've been working with Mr. Wong here, and the one thing I've noticed is that you have more of an indie rock, almost indie pop background in a way, and whereas Vienna Teng herself is more kind of there's a pop influence, but there's also more of like a troubadour type style to it in a way. So, as you've also co-produced the new record, you worked on, you've been touring with her for a while as well. What influence have you brought to both the live shows as well as to the production of the new record as well?
You bring the rock.
Bring the rock. Volume, I don't know. Snarky comments.
Sunglasses.
Yeah.
Cool hair
My
products.
hipster wardrobe. I think that I think that when we started playing together, it was cool because our sensibilities, I think, rhythmically were very aligned, very compatible, and my sensibilities musically were also compatible, like arrangement wise and sort of orchestration wise. And I mean, I was an orchestra dork before I was an indie pop guy. So I think that I connected a lot with Vienna's music in that way, and so, you know, getting the opportunity to write arrangements and sort of kind of try to, you know, contribute in that direction, and you know, not try to. I wasn't ever intending to take it into, you know, pull her into indie pop world or something like that. You know, I think that I try to just see what it is already and make it
better.
Make it better.
How exactly did you guys meet and start working with each other as well?
Well, we met, I think, at the end of 2002, and it was at an open mic in the town where I was living at the time. And I really didn't have any clue about how to tour or how to book shows or how to put an album out or any of that stuff. And they were having this special open mic. It was an organization called Just Plain Folks, and they were saying that touring musicians could come converge on this open mic as well as locals, and we could all meet and mingle with each other. And so I got up there, and I made it through my one song, and then I sat and listened to all these cool musicians who were coming through town that I'd never heard of, and then Alex and his songwriting partner Devin got up there and sang this one song called Help Is On The Way, and my jaw just dropped. You know, it was one of those things where they were performing the music that I wanted to make. You know, it was lyrically beautiful and really touching, but also like the song built to this kind of epic thing at the end, and they were creating this big sound, an interesting sound with just two people, an accordion and a guitar and two vocals. And so basically I became this fangirl and kind of did this like semi-awkward thing of following them around a little bit at the end, you know, afterwards. It's like, hey, you guys go out to dinner? Oh, I'll go too. So, how do you guys like write together and tour and stuff? Yeah, so
It's not really how it went down.
How did it really happen then?
I remember that.
We were mutual fans of each other after that. Because we really liked what she did, and so we all went out to dinner together.
I just remember saying some really dumb comment about Mixolydian mode because I was trying to impress them. And I remember very clearly Alex sitting across the table going like, so. So I took away the idea that I was like the awkward kid. But it's true, we became friends after that and played a lot of shows together actually. My trio and his band. And just like, yeah, hung out a lot. But didn't really play together so much until about 2 years ago.
Yeah, like the end of 2006 maybe was the first time we tried it, just because we had shows, my band and her band were playing together, and we just were experimenting, we were just sitting in on each other's sets and kind of like, huh, that was fun.
Well, it's definitely working out, I'll say that much.
Well, cool.
Yes.